Love is in the midst of chaos always. There is love in darkness. There is love in light, and you are loved. Hello and welcome everyone to today's episode. I'm so excited you are here. I have a really special message today. And that message is you are loved. Every cell of your body and being is loved. Every part of your body and being is love. All of your consciousness, all of your messiness, all of your beautiful, chaotic creativity is loved. Love is in the midst of chaos always. There is love in darkness. There is love in light, and you are loved. I'm feeling so strongly to share this message today of love because there's so much chaos going on in the world. There's so much hurt that's going on in the world. There's so much uncertainty going on in the world. And there's one thing for certain. You are loved. Even if you don't fully love yourself, even if you don't recognize that love, even if people don't share that they love you or express their love in the way that you want it to be expressed, you are loved. I remember growing up, that was something that I craved a lot. My parents didn't understand affection. They weren't taught affection, so they couldn't give affection if they weren't taught affection. It's kind of hard, but they were affectionate in their own way. And sometimes we are lacking love because our needs are not being met based on the expectations of what it is that we want to receive and how it is that we want to receive it. And so if you can take a moment and step back from your expectations and give yourself permission to recognize that love is literally swimming in every cell of your body and being. Love is in every breath you take. Love is surrounding you within your environment, even if you do not recognize it. And the more you give yourself permission to take a step back, and yes, literally a step back, because sometimes we're stuck in an energetic vortex. We're stuck in an energetic bubble, and that bubble is filled with all thoughts and experiences that are keeping you in expectations, are keeping you stuck in the past, or keeping you stuck in the reality that you are in. And when you give yourself permission to literally take a step back from the energy, and then redefine the energy of love for yourself in that particular moment, especially if you're feeling sad, especially if you're feeling depressed, especially if you're feeling like your love tank is low. You have the opportunity to go, I'm not participating in this today. I love myself too much to do this today. Or, my being requires more. So I'm going to take a step back out of this energy. I have a very special invitation for you. I want to invite you to a very powerful, free 5-day light language illumination masterclass series. You're going to experience 5 very powerful light language healings and transmissions. You're going to learn about light language, all the different forms, and why it's important for your soul's evolution and self-realization. You are not going to want to miss this series. It is absolutely online and it is absolutely free. If you can't join us live, you can catch the replays. You can go to theamyrobeson.com/free, theamyrobeson.com/free, or you can click the link in the show notes or the description if you're watching this on YouTube. I can't wait to see you there. Share this with a friend, and I will see you when it begins, which is June 24th through the 28th. If you're catching this episode outside of those dates, you can still join and join our wait list, and we'll let you know the next time we run it live again. All right, friends, let's jump back into the episode. So instead of trying to force yourself through like quicksand or through molasses where it just feels hard and it feels challenging to move forward, you can literally just take a step back, energetically remove yourself from that stuck bubble, that stuck energy. And then you go, I'm going to redefine this. How do you redefine it? That's totally up to you. You can sit and write yourself a love note. You can find beautiful poems that allow you to feel the energetic of love. Or you can imagine hugging your inner child and expressing love to your inner child in a way that is true to the way you want your love needs met. Let me say that again. You can express love to your inner child, because it's easier to express love to your inner child than it is to express love to your adult self. If you've ever done mirror work before, or if you haven't, I highly recommend it. It can be challenging to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I love every part of you. I approve of you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're courageous. That might be hard. That might be challenging. You can work your way up to it. It's a lot easier to tell an innocent child what you are. You are an innocent child. You can look at your inner child. You can look at a picture of yourself from when you were a child. Maybe you don't have a picture. Maybe you don't have anything from your childhood. You can grab another picture that reminds you of you. You can imagine it. You don't have to see it in your mind's eye. You could just imagine it. Start allowing your imagination to run wild in a way that allows you to grow. And you can look at your inner child. You can imagine your inner child, and you can express love in the way that you want and deserve love. Your love needs to be met. So it might look like this, where you're just looking at your inner child, eye to eye, heart to heart, and you just look at your inner child's eyes and you say, I love you. You're beautiful. You're perfect the way you are. You don't have to do anything different but just be here with me, and I want to hug on you. I want to love on you. And maybe you give your inner child a kiss. Or maybe that's not the way you want to receive love. Maybe it's saying hey to your inner child and going, let's go jump rope. Let's go to the park. Let's go and play this fun game I've always wanted to play, but maybe I didn't have anybody to play it with. However you want to express love to yourself, to your inner child, you have the capability and the right to do that. The other day, I set a challenge for myself, something that I was working towards. And I told myself, if I meet this challenge, the day that I meet this challenge, within reason, because maybe I have an important thing going on that day, but maybe the next day, but when I meet the challenge, I'm going to take my inner child to the store and go pick out the most beautiful flowers. And we're going to make an amazing flower bouquet. I find that very fun, and it's a way of connecting with myself. It's a way of connecting to my creative energy. You might not find that fun. Flowers might not bring you joy, but whatever does, you can set a date with your inner child and do those very things. And so the reason why I'm sharing about this challenge with you is because I wanted to have something that my inner child and I could look forward to celebrate the goal that I set for myself. And I was going to celebrate it with my inner child, so I could express gratitude in a different way through childlike wonder and childlike innocence. And the way a child celebrates versus the way an adult celebrates sometimes are very polar opposite, or very different, where an adult might not even have a way of celebrating, where a child can find any reason to celebrate. And it's really, really fun. And so today's message is you are loved. And it is so crucial for you to express daily love to yourself and to your inner child, and to show up for yourself the way that your needs and expectations of love can be met. You don't need anybody else to meet those expectations. Would it be nice if your family members or friends met your expectations of love? Absolutely. But if you don't know how to define them, you don't know what and how to define what your expectations of love is, it's going to be very hard for your loved ones to express it. And I'll give you an example. My love language, I have 3 love languages that are very equal to one another, which is quality time, acts of service, and physical touch. Physical touch is really big for me. And my husband is not very, how can I say this? It's not his first thing he thinks of in terms of showing love and affection. And that's perfectly okay, because his love language is words of affirmation, which for me, I don't really care about that. I would rather be touched, or I'd rather have someone spend quality time with me, or I would rather have someone do acts of service, because those 3 things are literally 33% across the board when it comes to defining what my love language is and how I receive love. And if you don't know what the love languages are, you can check out that book, and I will link that book in the show notes. It's an amazing book to discover what your love languages are, and you can go and take the quiz by the author as well. And I can't think of what the author's name is off the top of my head, and that's not a big deal, because maybe we can pop it up on the screen for you to take a look at if you're watching this on YouTube. What I started doing to meet my expectations of love is I started hugging and loving and feeling a certain way towards my inner child, and I would hug my inner child daily, and I would give her a nice big squeeze. And then I also do this for my daughter. My daughter is very much, her love language is physical touch, and she loves it, and we literally love and hug on each other. So to meet my expectations of physical touch, I started making sure I went out of my way to give my husband a very long hug each and every day. And anytime I felt my love tank was low, I would go and give him a hug. I wasn't waiting for him to do it, because he's not a mind reader and he can't read my mind, where I need a hug and I need a hug right in that particular moment. And if he's not around, I can hug my inner child. But by doing this, I'm giving myself permission to be courageous, to put myself out there, even though my husband and I have been together for a very, very, very long time. He still can't read my mind. And so by giving myself permission to play with my inner child, getting more comfortable with that, and then getting more comfortable with going out of my way to tell my husband I need a hug in that particular moment, he can then meet my needs if he is able to in that particular moment. And the more that I keep showing up and giving him a hug, the more my love language, my expectations of love can be met. And again, it can start with the inner child, because the more comfortable you get with showing that type of affection or asking for that type of love in return, and you giving it to your inner child will definitely give it back to you. It takes time and it takes energy and it takes practice and it takes showing up on a consistent basis of doing it. And all you have to do is just call forward your inner child and say, I love you, I appreciate you, and then show your love in the way that you want love to be shown to you towards your inner child. And the more that you do this, the more that it will show up in your other relationships if you allow that in, and you make it a point of getting yourself uncomfortable to ask for it or to give it so you can get it back in return. And it's a really amazing way of practicing self-love on a consistent basis. So I hope you will go out today and start this practice and recognize that you are loved on all levels by creation, by God, by the universe, whatever sacred title you give that sacred being. And your inner child loves you, and you are loved beyond your wildest imagination. So start filling up your love tank and giving yourself permission to receive love in the way that you expect it by practicing it with your inner child. All right, my friends, please make sure you like and subscribe and share this with a friend that is requiring or needing more support and more love in their life. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.